So the 1970s in Ireland, this is when the Troubles really break out following Bloody Sunday in 1972. A group of civil rights protesters, Catholics, Republicans, who were fighting for complete secession of North Ireland from the UK, were protesting, and essentially it got out of hand and a group of British soldiers opened fire on them and killed them. In the 1970s, we used a look inspired by women who were fighting in the Irish Republican Army. Whether or not we were glorifying violence or terrorism by including the IRA look was a question that I asked myself, and I think we asked of each other as we were completing this project. I wanted to use the look because it simply reflected the violence of the time period. I think we would have done a disservice to the project by leaving that look out, because that would have whitewashed a large part of North Ireland's history. For the Republic of Ireland in the 1970s, we used a look by Coleman Doyle. Coleman Doyle was a photographer traveling through Ireland, and he took what he considered to be cultural, anthropological photos, largely of women in Ireland, and what they looked like on a day-to-day basis. So this look is long, straight, dark hair, pretty severe makeup, pretty sexy. So in the 1980s in both the Republic of Ireland and North Ireland, the Troubles, which began in the 1970s, begin to quiet. Not completely go away. There's an arms deal with Libya that goes wrong, and that actually puts a large damper for a number of years on the IRA's actions around Belfast. Then in turn provides an opening for diplomacy. For North Ireland, we found a photograph taken for a newspaper about the Belfast club scene. These are women who are entering a club at night. They've done themselves up, they've dyed their hair blonde, they've blown out their hair pretty much to the limits of human possibility. They look like London punk rockers. In the Republic of Ireland, we chose a look inspired by Linda Martin, who at the time was a Eurovision star, which was Europe's singing competition. It is also interesting to look at the similarities between her look and the look of Belfast. So in the 1990s, both in the Republic of Ireland and North Ireland, we get a decade of prosperity. And this is reflected in both the looks. We chose two separate music groups. For Northern Ireland, we chose a look inspired by Candida Doyle, who was the keyboardist in the band Pulp. So you have a woman in a male-dominated rock band representing both her country's scars and her country's future. In the 1990s in the Republic of Ireland, the looks we found were largely inspired by pop groups, and specifically girl groups at the time. So Bewitched was a girl pop group based out of Dublin, and their look was very poppy, right? This was Britney Spears, this was Spice Girls. So you're getting dyed blonde hair, complicated updos, and definitely complicated makeup as well. So in the 2000s in the Republic of Ireland, Catholicism takes a hit because of the controversy with the Catholic Church starting in the mid-2000s. Some of the old lines between the two countries become blurred, or seem to be less important and more arbitrary than they were before. And this leads to the homogenization of art and pop culture that you see in a lot of the Western world at this point. Again, this is the beginning of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Both North Ireland and the Republic of Ireland are no different. We used a look inspired by Nadine Coyle, who was a member of the girl group Girls Aloud, which was comprised of different girls from all over the UK. She is largely credited with being the representative of North Ireland, which critics would say was sort of a ploy by the pop culture industry of Great Britain at the time to continue to fold Belfast and North Ireland into their culture and into that homogenization. Six was another famous pop group, this time in the Republic of Ireland. And again, it continues to represent how at this point art and artistry and identity making became homogenized with the proliferation of the internet. Globalization at the time really folded in both North Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, and so the look we chose was a look inspired by what pop culture really was the Western world. The 2010s in the Republic of Ireland, you get a referendum on gay marriage, which allows same-sex couples to wed each other in the Republic of Ireland. This obviously changes drastically its self-determination as a largely religious, practicing Catholic country. This redefines the role they play on the global stage for progressive politics. Well, I think examining the history of Ireland is important because its violent history is recent history. This is a Western ally. The violence and the trouble that it experienced is not beyond the realm of possibility for other Western democracies. It can fail that easily, and it's just that fragile.